Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christina. I am a gardener here in South Arkansas, Zone 8A, and I wanted to do a garden talk. As you can see, I'm outside right now on my porch, and it's raining. It is the middle of April. You know, March winds bring April showers that bring May flowers, and that is what I'm looking forward to. But I wanted to just give you some context of what my gardening style is and how I got into gardening. So I can't exactly remember. I don't remember like my aha light bulb moment, but I know that I used to watch, and I still do, but Joe Lamp'l TV show on PBS, and it's called Growing a Greener World. And it's about his garden, and then he visits other people's gardens, and he is really trying to grow a greener world. And I just think that is so cool looking back on it, you know, the retrospect of it. But I've watched his show for a long time and enjoyed watching it. And one episode, he showed his raised bed garden, and it was beautiful. And I was like, that looks really neat, because I have tried to grow a garden before. It was an in-ground garden. It was almost like 10 years ago. I didn't know anything about growing anything. I was in school, I was newly married, and I didn't have the time to tend to the garden, and it ended up being a field of weeds. I had a few tomato plants here and there, I had a few watermelon here and there, but they all succumbed to pests and disease, and I was totally overwhelmed. And you know, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that type of gardening. So I saw this raised bed garden, and I thought, that looks lovely. I would love to do that. Like, how easy does that look, you know? And so I decided, and this was probably in the fall of 2019, so it was before COVID, but I decided I was going to try to do a garden that year, you know, in the springtime. So I got my husband on board. He agreed to build me a raised bed garden using the suggestions and everything of Joe Lamp'l on his website, which I'll link that below. But I told him, I said, I just want one. I just want one garden bed to try it out, because I knew it was going to be expensive. To try it out, to see if I like it, to see if I can actually grow anything, to see if I'm overwhelmed with it, or, you know, whatever it may be. So we did the one garden bed, and that ended up being during the spring and summer, you know, of 2020, when everybody was doing a garden, which I think is awesome. You know, when I first heard about the lockdown, I thought, I need to get on social media and tell everybody to grow a garden. You know, like, you're home, grow a garden, like, just do it. I didn't, of course, say that, but a lot of people did grow a garden, and I think it was a wonderful thing. So I had already planned to grow that garden, and kind of knew the things plants I was going to put in it. I did tomatoes, I did some bell peppers, I did basil, marigolds, and onions. And I think that's all that I was able to fit in that bed. But it was very, very productive for me. In fact, I just now, in April of 2021, have used up the last of my bell peppers that grew out of that garden last year. The way I preserve my bell peppers is I just cut them up into, you know, I dice them up or cut them up into bite-sized pieces, and I freeze them. And that's how I've been using them. And, but it was a very productive garden, and it gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me a lot of pride. It gave me so many lessons, and I enjoy learning. I am a lifelong learner. I always loved school, and so it gave me a whole new avenue to learn in, you know, and to grow it, like, not only grow food, but like grow myself, you know. And I think I remember the first YouTube video I searched out was something about peppers, and I came across Scott Head at Black Gumbo Southern Gardening, and I'll link all of these below. And his video on topping your pepper plants. So I watched that and I was like, that's really neat. And so I did it, and sure enough, they were more bushy plants instead of just tall, leggy plants, because I'd actually started bell pepper seeds in my bedroom. We have one south-facing window in our bedroom, and I started them in a milk jug. I'd cut a milk jug in half and put holes in the bottom of it and put some bell pepper seeds that I'd gotten from a pepper from the store, okay? And I put a heating mat under it, like a heating pad, like not a real germination mat, but like a heating pad like you would have at home. And I got them to germinate, and they were growing, but they were very leggy, and I didn't know any of this terminology at the time. I did not know the light requirements or anything like that. So, but anyway, so that was the first YouTube video that I came across, was his video about peppers. And then I think maybe something was happening in my garden, and I was wanting to look at something about tomatoes. And of course, you know, if you're here on my little rinky-dink channel, then you know who Jessica Sowards is from Roots and Refuge Farm. And but if you don't, she is a lovely, lovely lady who knows so much about plants and about gardening, and especially about tomatoes. And so I found her video, and I was just like in awe of her garden, and how majestic it was, and how beautiful it was, and how productive it was. It was practical mixed with beautiful, and I loved it. But it was a huge garden. I mean, it's like 10,000 square foot raised bed gardening, and then she has other gardens now. But I was just like amazed with that. And you know, I watched a lot of her videos through the summer, and I went on to other, you know, type channels that I've watched. Living Traditions Homestead is really great. Oh, I really like Deep South Homestead with Danny and Wanda. I like the Hostels channel, 1870s Homestead. I really like them. I love her gardening style. It's a lot of work, you know. Gardening is a lot of work, but I love what she is doing in her garden and on their homestead. But yeah, so I just really have delved into loving gardening and just trying to find that community that is really into it as well. And so I decided that this year, if we could afford it, I wanted to expand the garden. And we have. So instead of just the one bed, you can see behind me, right there, that chair is, that was my first bed. And you can tell it's older because the cedar on it is gray. But the rest of the cedar beds are still that pretty cedar color. But we've expanded to now having 6 raised beds, which I love. I love having raised bed gardens. And then we're going to try like a small in-ground patch for okra. And then we'll do like hills for our squash and our watermelon and pumpkins and things like that. Where that pine thicket is back there, my husband has tilled up the soil. He tilled it up as a fire break to burn off the brush that's in that thicket right there. But since it was already tilled up, I told him I was going to plant some flowers there because I love the idea of a pollinator garden. I had tried many years on trying to grow pollinator flowers for bees and butterflies and hummingbirds and things like that. And I've bought those seed packets or big huge packages, you know, from the store that have different mix of pollinator flowers in them. But I can't get them to germinate and grow. For one, I'm really not that good, like that attentive of a gardener, and like weeds and things like that. So, but I do have some things planted back there. I did the rest of that wildflower mix. I started some zinnias and some snapdragons in my closet under the grow lights, and they're planted out there. The other day I planted some forget-me-nots and bachelor's buttons, but anyway, so that's my plan, that's my hope, is to have like a big flower patch back there, with the garden mainly being production, practical crops for our family. Tomatoes, peppers, basil, onions, garlic. Right now I have some lettuce and spinach, broccoli, and potatoes, and cucumbers, and I don't know, you know, I'll be doing some succession sowing this year, and I will link in the description box below the video all the seeds that I'm going to be planting this year. And that just helps me because I'm not very good at remembering varieties and things like that, and it helps, you know, so if you want to see what it is I'm growing and what it looks like as it grows, you can access that there. But I'm very excited about this year. My kind of big plan is to take all of this enclosed property right here on the hill and do muscadine vines and fruit trees and fruit bushes, and I would love to do like a cut flower garden and sell cut flowers at the store down the road, and that's really kind of like where I'm heading right now. So, but I just wanted to hop on here and let you know a little bit about my garden, and I hope that you will stick around and you know, see what this garden is going to look like. I'm really excited about it, and I'm hoping to learn to can and to start preserving some of this food. I've been stocking up on jars, but you know, it's something I've never done before, so it'll be a learning curve, but it'll be worth it, and it's something I hope that I can pass down to my kids, you know, and just keep that alive, you know. Today is Friday, so either tomorrow or Sunday I will do my week 4 garden tour. I know that you think a lot of things don't grow and don't change within a week, especially in like April and, you know, the early months, but to me they really do. I mean, some of the stuff is just massive, like lettuce and spinach grows super fast, and the potatoes are getting really big, and the onions are getting big. So stick around and catch that video next time. Alright guys, we'll see you later. Bye.